Twist. All right, here we go again. Three, two. You're listening to the Heroes Power Hour presented by BlizzPro.com. Your hosts, Balrog fan Zexorus and DJ Tyrant. Welcome to episode 51 of the Heroes Power Hour. I am DJ Tyrant, and with me, as always, Balrog fan and Zexorus. How are you guys doing? Balrog, how was your week in Heroes of the Storm?
Oh, not too bad. We played in Chair League and got absolutely demolished. All three of us did, so that was a learning experience. Other than that, just continually working on the heroes that I like, trying to get a little better where I can. I'm finding that I really do enjoy playing Tassadar, and I'd like to break him out more. He's so effective right now, and I don't know. I love force walling people. It's my absolute favorite thing in the world, and he can put out sneaky amounts of damage for a support. So I just really enjoy playing Tassadar. I might try to play him tonight during the show portion. We'll see.
Yeah, definitely. He's kind of made a little bit of a resurgence in the meta lately in the past few months. And they didn't really touch him, but I think they touched enough of the heroes kind of around him that he complements that it really brought him up a bit.
Sometimes it takes time for people to adjust to. They want to stay in the old meta, and ever since they fixed his shielding, they gave him all those extra shielding talents, and God, this was 2 months ago, I think, at this point, or maybe even longer.
Yeah.
He's been a little better as a solo support, and once you see people do it, you kind of understand where you need to be and what you need to be doing with him. And he's really hard to catch, especially late game. So it's definitely he's definitely viable
For sure. Zex, what about you? I know you played Chair League with us last night, and they targeted banned you. That was pretty crazy.
I was kind of mad about that. I was like, that Chen band popped up. I was like, no. Why would you do this to me? This is a casual league. Come on, guys.
Oh man.
I got to play Stitches, which is really my second favorite hero. But it obviously didn't work out in our favor. But compliments to you for keeping us in it. Your experience, Soak, was out of this world, and it would have been a lot more lopsided than what it was had you not done your job and soak the lanes as much.
Yeah, and the thought didn't come to any of us that putting Vikings up against Li Ming is probably not the wisest of things, and so that snowballed a little bit at the end of the game, at least. But it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun to finally get in a Chair League game and do the draft and all that stuff and get casted. So that was fun.
Yeah. Man, Vikings are just no good against Li Ming. Those resets are just brutal. She can just chunk them down so quick too.
But I played a little bit today, and we'll played around with Zool a lot, and we'll get into that here in a minute because he's silly.
He is silly, and actually, we're kind of just actually going to go right into that now. Zool came out today on the North American servers, and tomorrow they will be out for EU, and along came a patch as well. Let's just talk about those really quick. I mean, they were really, really small kind of changes, just adjustments to try to fix the meta a little bit. Rhaegar got a nerf, another nerf, so he's kind of being brought back down a little bit more to earth, and Nova got a buff and to her snipe, I believe. The snipe got a pretty significant damage upgrade, and also some of the kind of minor, kind of just nice quality of life changes. You can now control click on an ability, and it will announce the entire team if it's available or what the cooldown is left on it. So I mean, obviously alt click, or is it,
yeah,
okay,
it's alt click.
Okay, alt click. Sorry. But it's really great for if you're not on comms, you can very easily set up some really good stuff that way. And also more observer slots. So, I mean, observer slots may seem like something really small, but for tournaments and tournament organizers and casters and stuff, it'll be really great because we'll be able to have multiple languages going forward in tournaments. I mean, I think it's 6 observer slots now. So you have 1 observer slot for each language. That's 6 caster languages you have there, or 3 if you do dual casting. So that will be really nice, and I can't wait to actually try that out and see how that improves the production quality of tournaments going forward here.
I'm just looking forward to my inevitable Esperanto cast. Esperanto is a very it's the only artificial language in history, so I'm looking forward to that. Someone out there, come on, help me out.
Don't know.
You made Charlie speechless.
I'm just looking at these bugs and I am kind of distracted. There was apparently a bug that says Gaul will no longer be separated from Cho after manually exiting a Dragon Knight or Garden Tear.
What?
Was it like a disembodied head, like just floating?
I didn't even. No, I have no idea. I've never seen that.
Well, hold on.
That's funny.
Bug fixes?
Yeah.
There's a Chen?
No, Gaul.
Oh, it's
No, it was Gall and Cho, yeah.
If you manually exited the Terra, apparently Gaul would be separated from Cho. I don't know what that looks like. I wish I did know. If anybody has any video of that, please send it to us.
Yeah, seriously.
It sounds hilarious.
The other one that was funny, I thought, or interesting, because I didn't even realize that this was a bug, is towers will now properly fire ammo provided by an allied mule immediately after 2 ammo has been restored.
Oh, yeah, because it wasn't firing. Yeah, that's weird. I like that the turrets will now attack the chest on Blackheart's Bay as well for Gazlo. That's a pretty big change.
Oh, that's actually really nice. Nice quality of life change.
Also, Viking Li Ming's critical mass trait will no longer trigger when one of the Lost Vikings is killed if she did not participate in the takedown. Womp womp. That could have been affecting us a little bit last night.
Thanks, Blizzard. No, and I wanted to actually, before we get into Zool, because I know we have a lot to talk about with Zool, at least Zex and I, because we did get a chance to play him. Rhaegar, let's break down the changes really quick. Electric Charge talent, the bonus to the Lightning Shield radius has been dropped down from 33% to 25%.
That's pretty big.
That's pretty big.
That was a huge radius.
Mm-hmm.
It felt really... I mean, last night I was casting it, and I was in awe of how far that stretched, how often it secured kills that otherwise definitely would have got away. I mean, we'll have to see if 25% is still.
Yeah. I think I played like 1 game with Rhaegar. Oh yeah, that was our AI game that we accidentally played today. And the Stormcaller talent no longer increases lightning shield duration.
I used to increase it by 2 seconds.
Mm-hmm. Earth Shield, the shield amount has been reduced from 15 to 12% of the target's maximum health.
Yeah, I mean, a 20% reduction in the shield applied, so...
Yeah. Ancestral Healing cooldown increased from 80 to 100 seconds, and I think I saw Forecourt Jester talking about this. It might actually just be 90 seconds. So, I mean, it's still a nerf to Ancestral Healing, but that Ancestral Healing's like gone up like 40 seconds, I feel like, in the past like 3 weeks.
Yeah, and it needs to. I mean, it's such a landscape changing ultimate.
Yeah, I mean, it completely changes the face of a fight. And Bloodlust, mana cost reduced from 125 to 70. That's not really going to make you choose it over Ancestral Healing, but nice.
Yeah, I mean, if you're running him in Bloodlust comps, I guess you're happy that it's a bit cheaper now, but I don't think anyone was ever like, man, I really want to go Bloodlust, but that mana cost...
Oh, I know. They're really thinking. They're like sitting there looking at the talents. What should I get? Oh, Bloodlust. Oh, this is just too much mana.
Maybe if it was like 55 mana less, I'd take Bloodlust every.
Yeah, props to the engineers at Blizzard and Balance people, but I don't know how they come up with this number. They're just like, oh, this will work. and they just throw it in there. But I know they have a lot of really smart people behind the scenes doing a lot of work on this game. So props to them for being so quick to get out changes. I feel like we keep reiterating this every week, or at least I do, with how quickly the changes are coming out. But it's definitely really helping out the quality of life of the game as a whole.
Another little change that happened too is you can now alt left click your own health or mana bar in the left corner of the screen, and that'll let teammates know that you're low on whichever one you ping.
That's true. Yeah, that's right.
So that's pretty helpful for like quick match and stuff if you're just trying to quickly communicate like, hey guys, I'm low on health, or hey, I'm your healer, I'm low on mana, let's not do this.
Yeah, that's a little bit quicker than typing out
Yeah.
Yeah,
which is nice.
Absolutely. Which I'm like as a former Dota 2 player, I'm like absolutely delighted that crossed over.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, same here.
I mean, I'm not a former Dota 2 player, but I'm glad to see it.
Yeah. But the real big change this week was the addition of Zool. The Diablo 2 Necromancer has become a part of the Nexus, and it is available to buy now, 15,000 gold or $10. There's also a bundle for him with his snake skin, Serpentor skin, and the mount as well. So it's another bundle you can't get with a $20 gift card because it's like $20.80. Thanks, Blizzard. We're forever going to rail him on that ever since we talked about that. Oh my gosh. I think it started with the Butcher where Twiz
Battle Beast.
Twiz just went off. Oh my gosh. Anyways, Zool, he is a melee specialist. We talked all about his abilities and traits and everything last week, so make sure to check out episode 50 if you want to really see our deep dive into that. But Zex, you played a lot of Zool already. What do you think of him so far and how he fits into the meta of the game?
Oh my god, he's gonna fit the specialist role really, really well. Like he does a lot of things and he does them all pretty well. He can push at an incredible pace. He can output huge amounts of damage with the right comp, which we'll get into in a minute. Like Ray Skeletons, when you look at it, doesn't look that great, but it really it's a surprising amount of push. Just having those little guys right there wailing away on whatever is in front of you and the towers and stuff, it does a surprising amount of damage. And on top of it, it soaks tower shots, obviously, and which saves the full creeps from getting hit at first. He's really good, and I'm excited to see how he stuffs melee assassins and healers.
Yeah, that's the one thing I noticed playing him is I felt like Illidan was no longer a problem. Like, because Illidan jumps in on someone on your back line or even on you throw a Bone Prism on them because they've already used their jump to get in, and they're in a world of hurt. And the kind of downfall of Bone Prism is it takes 2 seconds to go off on the person, but I mean, it works so well. It's such a good tool to stop heroes.
Now it is targeted, right?
Yeah.
Like you just click on the hero and then there's a 2-second
Yeah, I mean that's
route.
Yeah, that's why it has a 2-second delay. I think because if it didn't have a delay, it would be pretty absurd because it is targeted. It's not like a on the ground ability that you have to skill shot it. You just have to be in range, and it's a pretty small range. But this is a melee specialist, so that makes sense.
Yeah.
Now, so obviously early on, you guys are saying he's pretty good against melee heroes, that especially ones who are good at sustaining their own presence, like Illidan and Thrall.
Mm-hmm.
Are there any heroes you feel like he's super weak to yet? Like anyone you've noticed?
I think, that's a really good question, because I was going to say Vala and Raynor, but then you just take, let's see, what was it?
Shade?
Shade, yes, thank you. You take shade and you're not taking any damage except from abilities. You know, for like 3 seconds. I mean, granted, it ups the cooldown of Bone Armor by 10, but I mean,
I haven't got
I'd rather
a chance
get
to
in
see
for
him
free.
I haven't got a chance to see him in action, but just from the sound of it, it sounds like he has to commit a bit on
Oh,
his
yeah.
positioning. So someone like Zagara might actually hurt him pretty bad with a bit.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that's a good point. I don't know, because once again, skeletons.
Yeah.
But they can't block the Hydralisk, and
No, they can't
he
block the
can't shoot out
Hydralisk,
the Hydralisk.
but they'll attack the Hydralisk,
Okay. Oh,
so it goes down quicker.
That's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
Now,
So-
now the one kind of real downside is, we kind of been alluding to this, is he really has no escape. I mean, obviously you can land the bone prison on someone that's chasing you to give you a little bit more space, but he has no escape at all.
Yeah.
So my thoughts would be like an out of the meta kind of hero who might actually like give him some problems is Nazebo, because if you catch someone like Zool in a zombie wall or something, hit him with. You need someone with abilities that has the
Maybe
ability of trapping him.
if he had curse strikes up though or available, and he could just tear through that zombie wall almost instantly. I feel like.
Yeah, a couple hits
just-
in the zombie wall's no longer a
Yeah,
problem.
I haven't tried that yet because it sounds like something fun to try out to see how well it works. But just based on wave clearing with curse strikes, I mean, it's disgusting how good of wave clear curse strikes is.
It's pretty interesting. So, I mean, where do you see him fitting on a team? Like, I mean, if you guys have like a dream team comp to build around Zool, like you've got the best Zool player in the world right now or whatever on your team, what 4 heroes would you want around him?
Jamie, can I go?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, so Zool, Morales.
Yeah, that stim drone seems nuts with that curse strike.
We'll get to that in a sec. Let's see. Johanna. So it's 1, 2, 3. Tank. Let's say Li Ming.
Li Ming. Okay.
And I don't know.
Do you think he lends himself better to like a double support or a double mage comp? Because obviously you don't want to commit too heavy on melee.
I think a double mage would work. I was going to say something like Jaina.
Okay.
Because
I think someone
Bone Prison will just shred. Bone Prison Blizzard is going to shred somebody.
Oh yeah, I think someone who also has a stun as well is really good because you can kind of use Bone Prism as soon as they use their like instant stun, and as soon as their stun is up, your Bone Prism procs, roots them in place. So I mean that's like 3.5 seconds of stun right there.
Yeah.
Well, he sounds really interesting. I can't wait to see him in action tonight. I mean, I haven't had a chance to like touch heroes today, so sorry to put you guys on the spot like that. I was just
Oh no.
thinking out loud here.
No, that's why we have 3 of us, so we can.
Can we tell our story?
Yeah, there's a story.
Oh, wait, yes.
Okay. So we were Jimmy and I were playing before the show, and we were on Sky Temple, and he was playing Morales, and this is where we discovered Morales and Zool is just an absolutely broken combination. So, coupled with the fact that the opponents weren't probably playing to the best of their abilities, I would say, maybe. They clumped up really hard one team fight during top, and like they just let me waltz in there and poison Nova, and it hit all 5 of them. So they already took this huge amount of damage. Jimmy stim drones me, and I pop curse strikes, and they proceeded to just melt. Like the whole, it was like a 1.5 versus 5. And we came out on top quite easily. Like,
Yeah, it was.
I think it was
silly.
4 or 5 strikes, and they were all dead at that point. Like, it was. I just started laughing hysterically at the absurdity of it. And then we played another one on Pirates Bay, and it was just as good. You know, didn't get like as big of Poison Novas off, but I mean, we ended up winning that one too quite handily.
We melted that Chen who was chugging.
Oh yeah, like that Poison Noble will
damage.
just shred that dude. Like he can't chug through all that damage. Like Zool will destroy Chen, which shocked me. And he went chug build too. So he had boulder flavor, and it just ripped right through him.
So those dots that are being provided, do you think it would be nice to pair Lunaro with them as well?
Possibly. But then again, you're probably overstacking your dots.
Okay.
Because that gray damage doesn't kill you.
Right.
Like once it vanishes, so they still have a chance. You want someone who can
capitalize on the bone prison. Yeah,
he's a happy addition to the bursty meta that's going on right now. Like he's not over bursty.
Well against it.
What's that?
He's good in the burst meta, or he defends well against it.
He's good in it.
Okay.
Because you're dealing like what is it, like 900 damage? Poison Nova, like it's a lot of damage. That initial burst. I'm gonna log in here real quick and look, but like it shreds hit. Like I think the Li Ming that game took one, and she was like 60% of her health was now poison.
Wow.
Like it is an insane amount of poison damage.
And it just travels as a radius from out.
Yeah. Let's see. It's a base 570 damage. So let's say 4% scaling. Let's see here.
Well, it sounds like his damage potential is a lot higher than a lot of us initially guessed at.
Yeah, it's definitely higher than I thought it was going to be.
That Sky Temple game I led in all categories.
Yeah.
And it wasn't close. It wasn't like, I led hero damage by like 100. No, I was like 20k ahead of the next person.
Wow.
And there was a butcher and I forget what else in there. Greymane, I think.
Yeah, that Greymane. Oh my god. That was a game.
So when is Overwatch coming in March? Can we expect Tracer? When is Overwatch?
No later than June.
No later than June. Okay, so Tracer probably isn't our next hero.
I would guess not.
You're making me cry.
Sorry, Zach.
I'm trying to figure out when we'll probably see another hero, which will probably be at the end of this month, and there's really no indication of who it'll be. So it's kind of interesting to be in that area again, because it was a long time ago now that even though it really wasn't, but I mean we had Zool and Li Ming spoiled on the same day basically.
Yeah.
Now here we are, unaware of what's coming next, and it's always exciting to be playing heroes. They're constantly changing the game for us, and it sounds like Zool's gonna be the hot pick for the next few weeks. Li Ming's still very relevant as well.
Yep.
I don't see her going anywhere.
I feel like we won't be waiting too long for them to kind of be teasing the next heroes. Probably sometime next week, I would imagine. They'll start teasing a bit. Because I was worried after, who was it that came out? I think it was Lunara or Greymane. No, it was Greymane.
Yeah, Lunara was first. Greymane.
Yeah, and then I was like, well, now we have no clue what's coming out for Heroes of the Storm. Mm-hmm. And then, like, I think that week they started teasing that they're all, hey, look at these silhouettes of heroes.
Yeah, and it was cracked fairly quickly.
Yeah,
like
I still can't believe I'm actually playing the D2 Necro, because that was my joke pick. I was not serious about that at all.
Yeah,
my joke pick for a while has been the Innkeeper from Hearthstone. I want somebody throwing Hearthstone cards around, summoning Ragnarok.
Oh my gosh!
If I ever get that, I will flip my lid and just play him every game.
I just want Dr. Boom, and just for
Dr. Boom
stupidness.
Boombots.
Boombots galore. Oh my gosh.
He'd just be really broke, and they'd have to rotate him out of standard.
Yeah. But anyways, let's move on to the Heroes. North American Championship was this weekend. They had that at the ESL Studios down in Burbank. They broadcast them online. There was the top 8 teams that qualified for it. And spoilers, if you haven't watched it or plan on watching it, we're going to spoil who won. Cloud9 won over Naventic in the finals. Naventic, formerly known as Bob Ross Fan Club. Cloud9 and Naventic both representing North America, though, in Korea next month for the Heroes of the Storm World Championships. But Cloud9, because they won this North American Championship, they will get a bye in the first round and get to rest on that first day of competition. Naventic will have to play on that first day of competition, and they'll be seated up against some of the other people qualified from other regions. I forget who exactly is there. I know EU is this weekend, so we'll find out who's coming from the European region. I believe Korea is done. I don't remember who qualified from there, but there's Australia as well. They just finished theirs up, and multiple other regions. There's going to be 12 teams in total, I believe, at Korea, and that should be fun because it's always really fun to see the different metas clash, and North America's is so, I feel like, unique compared to the rest of the world. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. We saw a lot more Cho'Gall Cho'Gall activity than I expected. He was banned quite a bit, and he was played 4 times. 3 of those games that they won. So it was interesting. And Team Blaze also brought out in Artanis and won a game with Artanis. So that was the only time he was picked during the game. Yeah, did you watch it, Zach? I can't remember if you were able to check it out or not.
I was trying to watch it when I could. I did. If I remember correctly, I watched Blaze go the Protect the Illidan comp.
Mm-hmm.
Am I remembering that right?
Yeah, there were a couple teams that did that, actually.
I think Blaze was one of them, and like I just love theirs. I'm a big fan of Team Blaze now. Like they do the squirrely stuff. Like they pick the weird things. They go for the out of meta comps that work really well.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like they're playing a counter meta. Like, okay, this is what the meta is drawing in. We're gonna play this is what the meta is. We're going to play something that's not inside the meta, and we'll counter you. And they pull it off very well.
Mm-hmm.
I got to give it up to Cloud9. I mean, it's so hard to stay consistent in these kind of environments. And I feel like every time we talk about Cloud9, it's like, and they won.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the thing is...
Except for that time they went to China.
Yeah. And the thing is, they all the teams had games taken off of them. Like no one just swept and like really kind of blew me away as far as like, oh, they just were the clear winner of this tournament. And like all the teams kind of really brought it. Even Team Nom, who's a really small like amateur team, they qualified on the last qualification, and they kept their games close. They didn't win any games, I don't believe, but I mean they had to play against COG. They played against Cloud9 and COG, and they give them a run for their money. So I mean, I feel like this really showed that the scene is getting a lot closer in skill level than we previously thought, and especially previous to last year. Because Vegas last year, it was totally clear that it was just Tempo Storm and Cloud9, and everyone else was just there to fill out the bottom of the bracket.
Yeah.
It was a fight for third.
That's what I mean. It's ridiculous that they're able to continue to win like that. I've got nothing but respect for that team. Because it's not easy anymore. Yet they're our world champions as it stands right now, and they continue to win in big spots. It's very impressive, and they're a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, and they were 1 game away from top 4. They unfortunately dropped to Cognitive, and yeah. But I did bring up an infograph here that talks about a lot of the picks, and I'm curious what you guys think about this. I'll rattle off the stats real quick, and then we'll discuss it. 5 most picked were Murden, Li Ming, Rhaegar, Thrall, and Zagara. No surprises there at all, I don't think.
Not Rhaegar. Murden surprises me.
Mm-hmm. I think it's just comfort picks for a lot of the players right now. I mean, we're still kind of... I think the Warriors are shifting a little bit right now. So I think they're just playing Murden just because they've played Murden for so long.
He dives to the back line and harasses and peels better than any tank in the game still.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He's like... He doesn't do any one thing the best, but he does all of the things way above average.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
and the 5 most banned were Zeratul, Rhaegar, ETC, Zagara, and Cho'Gall. With 11 bans, Cho'Gall was banned.
Zeratul, Rhaegar, who were the other two?
ETC, Zagara, and Cho'Gall.
The ETC one surprises me. I mean, I guess those pits are death in that environment, though. And it's not like... You see a lot of team fights take place in a lot of close clump positioning that is kind of like a method to their madness sort of thing.
Yeah.
And he does blow that up, so...
Yeah, and people still really value that Void Prison with Zeratul. Or like, hey, we don't want to play against that.
It's the best setup and disengage tool in the game.
Yeah. I mean, 3 of these most banned ones have like some of the best ults in the game for just managing fights. Zeratul with the Void Prison, ETC. We talked about the Mosh Pit, and Zagara with a Maw. I know those are all 3 game changers.
Zagara's main thing is the vision. Nobody wants to deal with that.
Yeah, exactly.
No, not at all. Not at all.
I mean, in other games you have wards. You don't really have that in this game. You have Zagara, who's just a mobile, damaging, flying ward.
She is the ward.
She is the ward.
Yeah.
The vision.
Going through a couple more things. 3 most picked warriors were Murden, Johanna, Sonya. 3 most picked assassins, Thrall, Falstad, and Jaina. 3 most picked supports, Rhaegar, Tassadar, and Uther. And 3 most picked specialists, Zagara, Sylvanas, and Abathur.
That pretty much sounds about right. I'm just still surprised that we don't see much Nazebo anymore.
Yeah,
he still has the damage capability. He still has the traps. He still has... I mean, if you get somebody who can help you set up a Ravenous Spirit, it's a completely... there's no way to really deal with Ravenous Spirit once it's set up.
yeah.
I'm also surprised we don't see a little more Sergeant Hammer from time to time, because Protect the Hammer to me feels very viable.
Yeah, we're actually going to talk about that in the next stat after this one. Top first picks were Rhaegar and Zagara. Rhaegar 18, Zagara at 8. And top first band, Zagara with 10 and Zeratul with 7. Nothing too surprising there. I'm a little surprised that Li Ming wasn't up there as far as the top first bands, just because... Well, actually, that doesn't surprise me, because she would be mostly the second band, because you kind of want to force the other team to ban her out or let her through. Any surprises there, Zax, you think, or not really?
No, actually, not really. That's all. That seems pretty. What's current, you know?
Yeah. And 12 heroes were not picked or banned at all. Do you want any guesses on that, or we'll just?
Okay.
I can just rattle them off.
I'll say Hammer wasn't picked.
Murky wasn't picked.
I'll say Murky wasn't picked. I'll say Malfurion wasn't picked.
Lost Vikings.
Lost Vikings, yeah.
Nova.
Yeah, no Nova. There's 5.
Kerrigan.
I won't agree with the Kerrigan, maybe.
Nubarak.
I feel like he counters Cho.
Well, we know he counters Cho.
No
But
Stitches,
doesn't mean-
maybe.
Yeah, no Stitches. No. No, I think Stitches was picked. Let's see.
This is a fun game. No Nazebo.
No Lily.
No
No Tychus.
Yeah. God, no. Poor Tychus. I miss that guy. All right, go
All right,
ahead.
all right. So
No
interestingly,
Chaos.
Yes,
so
we get-
so so
Okay.
interestingly enough, Nubrak was picked, and everyone I was with, they were like, "Well, why'd they pick that?" I immediately get up and yelled at them, "Cocoon!" And they're like, "Oh, that makes sense." So
Yeah.
thank you for that, Zex. You were the one who put that strategy in my mind. But here's the 12 heroes that were not played or banned: Arthas, Asmodan, Gazlo, Kael'thas, Kerrigan, Lili, Murky, Nazebo, Nova, Rexar, Sergeant Hammer, and Tychus.
Wow.
Let's say I thought
cannot believe
Cloud9 would have
we didn't
picked.
see a Kelthus.
What was that?
I cannot believe we didn't see a Kelthus.
Yeah, he's like completely dropped off the meta now because of Li Ming. I feel like.
Yeah.
Well, a better, I don't know, arcane energy flinger showed up.
Yeah, and I mean, like, there has been the addition of Greymane and Lunara in certain spots as well. So.
Hmm.
I'm just surprised to see him fall so far from grace just from a minor increase on some of his cooldowns and a minor decrease on the amount of shield from Arcane Barrier.
Yeah. So.
But, hey,
Yeah, it was a really fun tournament to watch, and I'm really excited going into the World Championship to see how North America does. And yeah, I don't know. It was a fun weekend of watching heroes. That's pretty much all I did this weekend was watch it.
I'll definitely say out of all those heroes that didn't get picked or banned, Sergeant Hammer has the most potential to actually affect the meta, and Kerrigan's up there too. Still, I feel like Kerrigan, in the right spot, she can still carry a team, just not as well as she used to be. But definitely Hammer, as depending on the map as well. I still think Hammer is the best pick for Battlefield of Eternity.
Yeah, Naventic did that when they played Cloud9 at the Heroes Rising event, so I was a little surprised that we didn't see that come out at one point. Speaking of Naventic, though, I feel like they kind of just threw that last game against Cloud9. Did you watch that one, Zex, where it was like Zuna was on Chen, and they just had all these just bizarre picks that like completely fell apart. Yeah, it was just
that.
it was not good. I think they were just tired and wanted to go home. They were just like, whatever, we're done.
Cloud9 has broken our brains. Let us
Yeah.
leave.
But yeah, that was the weekend's tournament, and big props to Blizzard for the event, and the production quality was really good. And Dreadnought, holy crap, is he an amazing caster? I mean, it shouldn't be a surprise because of him being the former captain / support of Tempo Storm, but his insight is so on point and really upped the knowledge of the casting team for heroes in general. But saw Jake, Zoya, and Gillyweed were great like always, and Anna did a really good job hosting, and they actually did a little different than they usually do. They had actually the caster's desk right near where Anna was standing for interviews, so all three of them got to interview the winning team or winning player at the same time. So it was actually a really good interaction in that regard. The only things that kind of went wrong were on the first day there was about an hour delay before things got started, but other than that, everything went pretty smoothly, and almost all the series I feel like went most of the best of threes went 3 games, which made it for an exciting weekend.
Yeah, it really did. I was surprised how long that very first day went. It seemed like they were casting for just absolutely ever.
Yeah, they started the broadcast at 10 a.m. and then Pacific time, and they weren't done till about 10:30, 11 Pacific time p.m.
Yeah.
So I mean that's 12, 13 hours of casting.
I think I watched a bunch that morning, went to work, came back, and was like, how are they still going? What is going on?
Yeah.
Is it the same people the whole time too?
They switched off. It was duo casting, and they would switch off every 2 series, I think. So it was
Okay, that makes sense.
the first series were Jake and Dreadnought, and then Zoya and Gilly, and they actually ended up and the final series having Solid, Jake, and Gilly, which was a really fun thing to see. And I feel like we've talked this to death now for a bit. So, but good luck to Naventic and Cloud9 in Korea. We'll definitely be rooting for you. And we're on USA. But we're going to move on to our What's Hot on Reddit portion of the show. We are going to be talking about a thread where someone brought up the kind of missing of the hero trailers. We actually saw this. They actually played a bunch of them in the commercial breaks for the tournament this weekend, and that's kind of what brought up the topic on Reddit this week. And if you don't remember what those are, we're actually going to show you one real quick. So see you back here in just a minute. Enjoy.
The most important thing I've learned in all my journeys is balance. Work and play. Good and bad. Right and wrong. Honor. Tradition. A good brew. And most especially, family. These are the things that bring me balance. These are the things I fight for.
So that was the Chen hero trailer, and that's a lot of fun. I mean, it's a short little thing. It's only a minute long, but it really kind of shows off the character of Chen, and that's something they just haven't done in a while. And this discussion was about kind of missing those because we haven't seen. I don't remember exactly the last one we saw, but we haven't seen one for the past 5 or 6 different heroes, and I know they've kind of come out and said that they're not going to do them for every hero moving forward. So it's a little disappointing, especially after watching so many of them this last weekend, and that was a lot of fun. I know I kind of sprung this on us a little late in the show notes, but what do you guys think overall of the hero trailers, and just as kind of a marketing tool for the game, I guess, really?
I don't know when Chen ever did that staff slam.
Maybe that's part of the problem too, is they're like, hey, they don't actually do all this stuff anymore. But
that's how he catches himself after the flip kick.
Yeah. But yeah, Charlie, you had mentioned the Jaina one specifically, where she's just like strolling through town, just lighting people up with with the ice stuff.
I mean, back when I was doing the Nexus Night Owls too, like we were trying to come up with an opening for the show, and we found the music, and it's just like, let's just cut in some gameplay with a ton of these clips from these trailers that are just so cool looking, and the opening ended up turning out pretty well. There was just so many cool moments, and like one of my favorite ones is the Zagara one, where she's at near the end, it's like showing her viewing like all the heroes through her eyes, and it like quickly flashes like every hero that was in the game at that moment, like cycles through them quickly as she's talking about like murdering all of them. There's just some really cool trailers that came out, and I hope they don't. I mean, I realize maybe they're trying to focus on the game, and this is time and resources they might not want to spend on something that people view once and go, "That's cool," and plus they have Carbot now, who's doing amazing work with his videos.
Oh yeah,
so he's kind of supplementing that missed love. But I mean, these were always so gorgeous and created so much hype for the characters, and I hope we do see some more of them in the future.
I'm sorry, you'll have to pardon me for not talking. I'm actually watching the Zagara.
Oh, you've never seen the Zagara one.
The other one that really comes to mind to me that really kind of personified a character was Brightwing, because I mean, I forget what exactly Brightwing says, but it's just like, "Oh, I like murder. Let's go kill things." In this really cutesy voice. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Oh man,
it's really good. Murky's was pretty cool too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Murky's was good.
It was very colorful.
I just watched the the Zagara trailer, and I like how she just kind of stopped at Murky.
Yeah, it just stops on Murky.
Dude, okay, weird Murky thing. All the Protoss have very, very specific reactions towards Murky.
Sorry, your cat just jumped up on you.
Of course he did, because I'm talking.
Yes.
So this is the perfect time for the cat to jump into the frame. But like, it's popping up on stream now.
Yep.
Henry, you're a nut. But like, they're all telling him, like, every one of them like tells Murky. They tell him to calm down, pretty much. I think Artanis is like, I'm not justifying that with a response, and I think Zeratul tells him, you should really not be so angry.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I love those. I love those pregame interactions because they're. I feel like I see a new one all the time.
Yeah, there was one. Wasn't it? We were practicing last night. There was someone said something about Lost Vikings and somebody. I think. I don't know.
I can't remember who it was.
But...
I want to say it was Vikings and maybe Wolf Greymane.
Yeah, I think so.
I didn't really hear it because I had my sound down. I usually have my sound down when I'm playing. So
yeah, mine's pretty low too usually.
But they're always very cool when I'm solo. I pump my sound up and I'm always pleasantly surprised. There was the Lunara being called a half deer.
Yeah.
Right.
And this reminds me though.
It's the man who's half a wolf. Oh,
yeah.
Look, it's the woman who's half a deer.
Yeah.
This reminds me, we have to try this in game, but I think, what was it, Skeleton King, Leoric, and Zool have apparently a unique interaction.
Oh, yeah.
We do need to check that out at some point.
Too bad none of us really play Leoric nowadays.
I know.
I'm playing Zool tonight. Sorry, guys.
No, it's all good. Anyways.
It's so much fun.
Any other comments on our Reddit, what's hot on Reddit portion? I mean, it's pretty simple.
We need like more of those trailers.
Yes.
As Willie's cat just violently attacking him.
Yeah.
We definitely need more of those trailers because they're fun. I mean, this game is a competitive game that we all enjoy playing against each other and working on getting better at, but in essence, there's a lot of fun to be had in this universe because it's simply the storyline of this game is what if everybody just got together and started fighting each other? So there's always something cool to be done. The trailers, the pregame interactions, the Carbot video, everything. So anytime they can do more of that, I'm all for it.
Let me say something. I had no idea who Carbot was until I saw that first Heroes video.
Oh, yeah.
Did. And I just like got into it. I'm like, oh my god, this is hilarious! Like, apparently there's a StarCraft 2 mod for it.
Yeah,
where, I want to play that.
Yeah,
I still use my little Rainer figure and make the fart sounds when he
shoots.
Oh
my god, that made me laugh so hard.
I died. Dude. I literally just died. I'm not even like alive anymore after I viewed
that and the Illidan one where he's hitting the wall to lower his cooldown.
It's like meditating and then hitting the wall, hunting.
Oh, Rainer summoning the Hyperion in the mines.
In the mines, yeah.
And it just runs them over.
Yeah,
yeah.
I like everybody beating on Johanna in that one.
Oh, jeez.
It's like she's just walking, and there's just like everybody's throwing skills at her. She's just walking.
The Leoric one made me laugh the most, though, just because like a lot of people didn't get the Chen joke at the end.
Yeah. He can't hurt Chen. Like he's just sitting there drinking. Oh man.
Yeah, that's good.
Oh, can we have an episode just entirely dedicated to Carbot?
Yeah, next week, guys, we're just talking Carbot videos.
The Carbot
Power Hour, yeah.
We're going to play all the Carbot videos and just laugh. It's going to be great.
Yeah, definitely.
Tune in.
Congrats to Carbot and Wifebot, by the way. They did announce that they are having a child. So, congrats to them.
Yay, baby bot.
Baby bot coming. Baby. I replied to them on Twitter. I'm like, Baneling incoming or something like that. Something just silly like that. I hope they'd appreciate. I think they'd appreciate that. So, anyways, let's. I think we're close to the end of our show here. We're gonna wrap it up a bit. And thanks for joining us on episode 51. Holy crap, 51
Closer
episodes
to 100.
Closer to 100.
Let's go.
51 freaking episodes of this show. Thank you guys for hanging around. And thank you to those of you who are supporting us on patreon.com/heroespowerhour. It really helps us out with just computer maintenance and stuff like that. All sorts of tech issues that tend to happen with podcasting shows like this. And we do have 3 individual people with computers and all sorts of tech stuff. So it really helps go towards that and helps keep the show hopefully reasonable, high quality that you guys can enjoy. And you also will get priority access to our game portions that we have after our shows every week, which if you're watching live on the Twitch channel, twitch.tv/BlizzPro, we are going to do in just a couple minutes. So make sure to hit us up in the BlizzPro channel in the in Heroes of the Storm, or on the Twitch chat. We'll get that all together and rolling very soon. But yeah,
be sure you're checking out heroesofthestorm.blizzpro.com. Willie probably will be writing a Zool build that will be confirmed to be the actual pro build used moving forward. So just go ahead and check that out and treat it as the good gospel. Alebeard writes wonderful articles every week. I mean, he just teaches you how to play this game, whether you're new or old or whatever you are to this game, whether you were in alpha, whether you just installed it as this show started. It doesn't matter. Alebeard can help you. I also want to give a special thanks to all the people who come out to our chair league games every week. I'm getting more and more feedback on it from people. I know we've got most of the BlizzPro staff, which I just want to give a big thank you to. Everybody's coming out and supporting us, and it's really we're having a lot of fun. We're not turning the world on its head with our pro level play, but we are doing very well. I feel, other than a slight step, but we've been
but I also think it's really good to have another eyeball on the game as well and get people's opinions on how the game went and what things could have been done differently or whatever.
Maybe the Eye of Kilrog.
Yeah, there you go. The Eye of Kilrog. Oh my gosh.
Shout out to useless warlock abilities.
Exactly. But yeah.
I blew Jimmy's train of thought up.
Oh yeah. That's it, I think, for this week. Any shout outs?
I have Kilrog.
I have Kilrog from Balrog fan and Zex. Any shout outs?
Shouts to everyone who's been, watching us, cheering us on, stuff like that. Why don't we give a special shout out to Just a Joke Junkie, who's starting to dive into the Nexus herself. New player. She's loving the Vala.
Nice.
And let's, shout out to the patrons and hey everyone, stay tight.
Yeah.
Make sure you're staying tight out there.
End scene.